Starting today, do something, anything on a consistent basis to move forward your dreams. My friends, each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, that's what we ask you to do if you are interested in learning how the stock market works and how to multiply your money through it. We want you to practice with us each and every day. Take the videos that are placed in your show notes every day. Sign up for free at chartingwealth.com. If you really appreciate what we do here and want to support our work, then of course become a Patreon member. You'll immediately receive my latest book for free, well, as part of your membership. And that is Three-Wave Trading Advantage and our three-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. Let's jump into these charts. We see that everything is down today except for gold, and it's just barely up. Now, the S&P is not down too much, 0.23%. Nice little green up candle, isn't it? Average volume. It's been average volume for many weeks since early July. And we have seen things. Again, we had the prior 2 weeks sideways slide. Looked like the market might be topping, but then popped up again this week. We look at the first day of the latest 2-day candle. Not a lot to see there because it was a down day on Friday. Not a lot of volume. We opened lower than the prior close. And of course, we can see where we had the volume go up a little bit higher, but you can see the average volume line going down to meet it. And a doji in the afternoon after it looks like we had a little bit of a pop-up maybe in the morning, and then it just died. But again, we'll wait and see how this new week starts. Our directional probability on our trade execution and summary plan is still positive. Okay, backtest accuracy. We are still bullish on the S&P. And again, a decent week with a higher high. What do you say about the Qs? Well, it's pulled back about double of what the S&P did today, but it's only 0.44%. It reached a nice high this week. Look at the volume. It's over average. We see that on Friday, again, things weak. We can look here at the 2-day, well, go from the 2-day chart to the half-day. You can see down in the morning and about the same in the afternoon, like we said, 0.44%, but a good week with decent volume. So we will keep an eye on things. Again, our bullishness is not super strong on the Qs, but it's still there, and we are still riding that gravy train on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, as we have been doing since April. I mean, all the way through May, June, July. Oh, it's just gorgeous. And of course, what do you attribute this to? Well, not being a Keynesian, being much more in the Austrian school of economics, I can tell you that I just see it as inflation. Just keep on pumping that money supply, printing like crazy. You don't have to print anymore. You can just change the decimal points on the computer. And as more and more of our budget is sucked up by just interest on the debt, and we just keep printing money to finance everything with out of control spending and a fiat currency, what do you expect when you have real stuff like the stock market, like real estate, like gold, like Bitcoin? Don't you just think it'll just keep going up because it's real and the money's not? It's called inflation. It's like blowing air into a balloon. Supply and demand, all the stuff that you can reasonably figure out. You can hear all the monetarists, the modern monetary theory people talk about, well, what we really care about is interest rates. What we really care, this is what you get, and this is what we've got. And if you've been writing it up, maybe you've been staying even or a little bit better, but at some point, somebody's going to puncture the balloon. Maybe Bitcoin will save us all. Let's go on from the NASDAQ 100 and the Qs and the S&P 500, SPY. We'll check out 20-year U.S. government bonds, down 0.71%. Of course, we see on Friday where the first day of this latest 2-day candle blasts through the weekly trend line on the 2-day chart. Had already moved through it on Thursday and just bottomed further. Ended up the week with a doji. And again, looks like it's still a bit of a green doji, but it's a doji. Lots of serious indecision. Look at all that volume. Those of you who've read my book and you've studied volume, you understand what the psychology of that doji and the volume is. If you've not, I'm going to put for you at the end of today's training. I've put it in a lot lately, but I'm just going to stick at the end of the video for new people, old people too. But it's the volume training that I take a lot from the book in that. It is so good, and it helps you understand there is a psychology to understanding what you're seeing with price and volume. And when you see this kind of volume with that kind of price movement on the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, it tells you a lot. Figure out what it is by taking that training. Now, we see, again, all this weakness after 3 weeks of up movement. We saw the volume slack off a little bit last week, and the volume went back up but opened lower than the prior close. That's what that red volume means, and had a doji. So extreme indecision there. Buyers and sellers are struggling to, again, hold the position, and you have that volatility back and forth. Add in the volume there, and it tells you quite a bit about what the insiders are doing and what's actually going on with bonds. Let's move on to gold. Gold up a little bit, 0.06%. I got nothing to tell you about gold because that is just a horizontal trend line. It's the best I can do. What does that mean? It's like a corpse. It's dead. We got no idea. I mean, if I look at my trade execution summary grid, I can tell you that technically it says it's bearish, but it's a coin toss. It can't be more than that. There's nothing there for you in gold at this point. Let's keep watching, see which way it goes. What do we see on HODL? We are still bullish on HODL. It was down 1% today. You can see that reflected with the last 2 days on the half-day chart. You can see the latest 2-day candle, which is just Friday. See how weak the volume has been for many, many days. Volume, again, since it really peaked on the week beginning the 14th, where we had the high of highs. The next week it was blowing off steam, still had high volume, but it was red. And we had a green small candle, never reached anywhere near the size or the height, that is how high it went in price. Then 2 dojis, then this week peaking up again and dropping off strong over the last 2 days. But nonetheless, low volume, higher high. That also, when you study volume, tells you a lot about the psychology of what is going on. We are still bullish according to the numbers that we have run. In fact, it's the highest directional probability of all of our charts for bullishness, as is the back test accuracy. So we'll continue to track and watch Bitcoin, paying close attention to what's happened over the last 2 days as we approach the weekly trend line, which again, not much of a trend line there. There's really nothing more than I can draw. It's almost horizontal. So we'll keep an eye on things as we end the week. Thank you so much, friends, for being with us. If you have questions, problems, concerns, please reach out to us. If you don't want our book, go ahead and become a Patreon supporter. It's the first thing you'll get along with our 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way, that I've got nothing but rave reviews on. If you're interested in options, here's a simple, easy, and inexpensive way to learn. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.